Sacramento, California lawmakers on Saturday passed a sanctuary state bill to protect immigrants without legal residency in the U.S., part of a broader push by Democrats to counter expanded deportation orders under the Trump administration. The legislation by Democratic Senator Kevin DeLeon, the most far-reaching of its kind in the country, would limit state and local law enforcement communication with federal immigration authorities, and prevent officers from questioning and holding people on immigration violations. California lawmakers Lorena Gonzalez Fletcher, Ash Kalra celebrate the sanctuary state bill being approved photo op after passionate debate in both houses of the California legislature, staunch opposition from Republican sheriffs and threats from Trump administration officials against sanctuary cities. Senate Bill 54 was approved Saturday by her 2,711 vote along party lines. But the bill sent to Democrat Governor Jerry Brown was drastically scaled back compared to the version first introduced, the result of tough negotiations between Mr. Brown and Mr. DeLeon in the final weeks of the legislative session. The decision came hours after a federal judge in Chicago blocked the Trump administration's move to withhold Justice Department grant funds to discourage so-called sanctuary city policies. On the state Senate floor minutes before 2 a.m. on Saturday, Mr. DeLeon said the changes were reasonable, and reflected a powerful compromise between law enforcement officials and advocates. These amendments do not mean to erode the core mission of this measure, which is to protect hardworking families that have contributed greatly to our culture and the economy, he said. This is a measure that reflects the values of who we are as a great state. Officially dubbed the California Values Act, the legislation initially would have prohibited state and local law enforcement agencies from using any resources to hold or question people or share information about them with federal immigration agents unless they had violent or serious criminal convictions. After talks with Mr. Brown, amendments to the bill made last week would allow federal immigration authorities to keep working with state corrections officials and to continue entering county jails to question immigrants. The legislation would also permit police and sheriffs to share information and transfer people to immigration authorities if they have been convicted of one or more crimes from a list of 800 outlined in a previous law, the California Trust Act. A sign at a Los Angeles rally in support of the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, or DACA program. Photo Damian Dovigan. Some immigrant rights advocates who were previously disappointed with the list of offenses under the Trust Act, were dismayed to see the same exceptions applied in the so-called sanctuary state bill. The list includes many violent and serious crimes, as well as some non-violent charges and wobblers, offenses that can be charged as a felony or misdemeanor, which advocates said has the potential to ensnare people who do not pose a danger to the public. But immigrant rights groups did not withdraw their support for Senate Bill 54 and also won some concessions. Under the additions to the bill, the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation would have to develop new standards to protect people held on immigration violations, and to allow immigrant inmates to receive credits toward their sentences serviced if they undergo rehabilitation and educational programs while incarcerated. California Governor Jerry Brown speaks in Sacramento, after police chiefs dropped their opposition to the weakened sanctuary state bill. Photo app Los Angeles Times.